So our third presenter tonight is Rachel Bills from the School of Architecture and the Built Environment, and her topic is Some Like It Cold, Thermal Comfort Amongst Older Australians. Thank you, Rachel.
On a recent trip to the UK, I was told by more than one individual that they'd never been as cold in their life as they were inside the houses of Australia during winter. How on earth, they asked, do we survive in drafty houses with no central heating without dropping dead of hypothermia? The reality is that actually Australians do drop dead of hypothermia and other cold-related illnesses at much higher rates than you might expect. Higher, in fact, than Sweden or Canada or the USA. And one of the big problems is ageing. Yes, that's right, the old and decrepit are falling down, placing huge strains on our health and welfare systems. And I refer, of course, to our increasing population of older houses. I'm certainly not referring to my friend Doris here as a problem. However, increasingly people like Doris are living in these old decrepit houses, which are hot in summer and cold in winter. So we know how the Brits feel about these houses. But what does Doris think? So my research focused on asking Doris exactly that. How do you feel? Would you prefer to feel warmer or cooler? At the same time, I measured the temperatures in Doris's house so I could compare the thermal conditions with her perception of thermal comfort. And I discovered some quite interesting things. In winter, those conditions found so abhorrent by the POMs were no problem for Doris. In fact, at temperatures as low as 12 degrees, Doris said that she was perfectly comfortable and had no desire to feel any warmer. However, in summer, at temperatures relatively mild, between 22 and 24 degrees, Doris complained of feeling too hot and wanted to be cooler. So overall, what we see is that older people are preferring and are comfortable in cooler temperatures than we would expect to see in a younger population. So does it really matter if Doris likes her house a bit cold? The short answer is yes, because those cold-related deaths and illnesses I spoke of earlier are far more prevalent amongst the older population. Colder temperatures are also associated with an increase in falls. And falls can be fatal in themselves, but they are also often a trigger for entry into a nursing home. So what I'm aiming to find is that sweet spot, that range of conditions where Doris is both comfortable, but also not at risk of serious health problems. I want to take her old decrepit house and design a haven for her golden years, because I believe Doris and all older people deserve that. Don't you?
Hi, Rachel. Thanks for that. As a Canadian, having moved to Australia, I couldn't agree with your opening statement more. Do you see this research moving towards retrofitting houses to do with construction guidelines or to do with what extra things we might give people in their homes?
I'd like to think it's a bit of all three. I'd like to see some policy towards housing improvement programs because we've seen them work in terms of health improvement in the UK and in New Zealand. I'd also like to see some guidelines into the building code to make sure that houses are warmer than they are currently, because whilst there are energy efficiency guidelines in those building codes, there's no actual comfort requirements. And for me, this whole project is about housing performance and housing improvement almost as a preventative healthcare measure.